Good morning. You're tuned into the Katy Sissine Show. It's Wednesday, and as you know, yesterday and Monday we discussed our new President Trump's inauguration. Congratulations to Mr. Trump and his great inauguration speech promoting nationalism, which is a term that many liberals are afraid of. We had 4 guest speakers on, 2 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, expressing their regards of the election, the inauguration, and the protest, and the Women's March, which was done in the name of the presidential election. It was all about certain minorities feeling excluded, when I believe that the federal government has already expressed all of its support that it possibly could for every American. And it's not about minorities. You see, the Women's March is, again, pointing a finger at, disparity in America when we need to be focused on unity. So they want to point out that the Muslims are being treated differently and they're being discriminated against, the LGBTQ community, the Black community, the Latin community, all the minorities are being discriminated against, when in actuality, if you're an American, you have the same exact right as anyone else. And in fact, maybe even more privileged, so long as you are a citizen. And that's the thing about it, is right now we need to be promoting nationalism and sticking together and really, just unity, and not so focused on what separates us. Of course, we need to think about our own individual opinions, but that's for the improvement of everyone. Now I want to talk about Obama's high approval rating and why that has occurred. Now, last episode I left off and I said I was going to get into legalization of marijuana. We will discuss that, but that will be a little bit further in part 2 of the show, or the beginning of episode 4 tomorrow. Now we'll just see what we get done today and what we get through today. So Obama's high approval rating is strange. In the last month, it's risen about 10%. And why is this? And I discussed with Mike, who was the guest on the last show, that maybe it's because he was accredited for feats that he did not achieve, similar to Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was the president during the boom of technology, and he's been accredited for economic prosperity and doing a great job in the economy, but he just so happened to be president during a period of economic expansion. And what else did Obama do that could have risen his approval rating? Well, he might have gotten credit for feats that he did not achieve, and by that I am talking about the rates of crime that have reduced and the number of incarcerations that have been reduced. And that statistic is true, but there's more to that statistic that we're going to discuss. So maybe he's got a high approval rating for that, for people associating him with lower crime rates and lower incarcerations, just like they did with Bill Clinton and the better economy. But there's more. Obama also gave more pardons and commutations than any other president ever. For instance, the Chelsea Manning commutation was a shock. He commuted Chelsea Manning just a couple of days before the inauguration. And it's a shock considering the high rate of convictions regarding violations of the Espionage Act under the Obama administration. Jake Tapper of CNN stated to the Washington Post that the Obama administration has used the Espionage Act to go after whistleblowers who leaked to journalists, more than all previous administrations combined. That's from CNN. And The Guardian has even called it Obama's war on whistleblowers, that it has been so extensive. So let's bear this in mind as well, that the Washington Post and The Guardian have liberal tendencies. So the fact that they would call out Obama for this is really saying something. Now, the liberals out there, you can't refute this. And again, now let's focus on not being liberal and not being Republican, because that's not what this show is about. It's not about, if you're a Republican, listen to my show. No, this show is for Americans. Yes, I am a conservative. I do believe in the Constitution, but I welcome all Americans to view my show because I look out for America. And anyway, back to Obama's high approval rating. So maybe he was accredited for lowering crime rates and incarcerations falsely, and maybe he was given credit for so many pardons and commutations. He's given more than any other president. It's strange that Manning's sentence would be commuted by Obama, And it doesn't make sense considering the administration's reputation, as The Guardian and the Washington Post revealed. So who knows? Anyway, let's talk about the commutation of Chelsea Manning's sentence. And we'll do a brief review. We talked about Chelsea Manning during the week of the Whistleblowers. And personally, I can't believe it. After the week of the Whistleblowers, the week before last, after all that, maybe Obama watched the week of the Whistleblowers on the Katy Sissine show.
Roger that.
I don't know.
We have no
So
personnel east of our
Obama,
position.
he continued Manning's, he commuted Manning's sentence, and she will be freed on May 17th in less than 5 months. She was previously set to be freed in 2045. Wow. She leaked over 700,000 documents. Both Democrats and Republicans have expressed concern, claiming that she values personal morale or ideology over state security. That's an interesting criticism to me personally. But anyway, it is said that Manning catalyzed the Arab Spring and the formation of ISIS to justify her harsh punishment. So what do you think? Let's analyze this. Could Manning have catalyzed the Arab Spring? Could she really have done that in the formation of ISIS? Now, personally, that just seems a little extreme to me to say that, she could have made that much of a difference by exposing to Americans violations that the U.S. was committing. I believe that her intentions were more about letting Americans know what the situation was, more so than aiding the enemy, which she was accused of, but then those charges were dropped.
Is still classified.
So as you may or may not know,
to some people,
Chelsea
hero, to other
Manning
people, devil.
was a PFC,
Bradley Manning,
a private first-class
young
junior
soldier who
enlisted
felt out of
personnel.
place.
She violated her loyalty to the service because she leaked evidence of unpunished unprofessionalism in the U.S. Army in Iraq and Afghanistan. So you can see up here that Chelsea Manning was not always Chelsea Manning. She did have a gender identity change. She was first Bradley Manning, and now she's known as Chelsea Manning. In the service, she was Bradley Manning, and she did not reveal her sexual orientation or anything of that nature. It was a don't ask, don't tell policy. So anyway, she leaked evidence of unpunished unprofessionalism in the U.S. Army in Iraq and Afghanistan. And that's my wording of the situation. It was, I believe that the actions of those soldiers that we will go over here in just a moment, it was unprofessional. And the problem was, the issue was that it went unpunished. And this was something that America needed to know. So Manning revealed hypocrisy, essentially, that should be condemned. If the U.S. wants to lead the UN, this is the hypocrisy that I'm talking about. If the U.S. wants to lead the UN, which determines violations of human rights, then we should uphold human rights internationally. Now, I've discussed the problems with the UN and such, but we are talking about the Obama administration here, a great supporter of the international community. Bear this in mind. We're backtracking to last week before the inauguration. And the repercussions of Manning's actions of leaking over 700,000 classified documents were extremely severe. Manning was charged with aiding the enemy, as I said, an extremely rare charge of the Espionage Act, which was dropped, but she still remained charged with other violations of the Espionage Act. So far, Manning has been detained and imprisoned for about 7 years now. And she's now age 30. She has spent her whole young adult life in prison and even has gone through a gender identity change. Recently, Manning began a hunger strike to protest, and I quote, the constant, deliberate, and overzealous administrative scrutiny by prison and military officials. And I've got a timeline from her biography.com page. She started working for the Army. She joined the Army in 2007. And in 2009, she was stationed at Forward Operating Base Hammer in Iraq, an isolated site near the Iranian border. Feel free to check out the video in the background. It's got a lot of info about Chelsea Manning, a lot of good footage here. And this is a nice inside story to check out from WikiLeaks, shown by PBS. So she served as an Army intelligence analysis, which was essentially her demise concerning her getting imprisoned. She attained access to unimaginable amounts of classified information as an Army intelligence analyst. When she learned of deplorable behavior, and that's what I like to call deplorable behavior, or this is what I like to call deplorable behavior, we'll see, of U.S. soldiers upon innocent civilians in Iraq and Afghanistan, she sought to reveal it. And I call this, and we call this, the leak of the war logs. This leak of information about the Iraq and Afghanistan war by Chelsea Manning is known as the leak of the war logs. Some of this information included videos that we're looking at right now, which showed unarmed civilians being shot at and killed by U.S. soldiers. These were innocent, unarmed people. It looks like a video game. So let's check out a video of the footage revealed in real time with some sound here. And we'll get that going for y'all in just a minute before we go to break. Actually, we're going to show that after break because we don't have enough time right now. So eventually, the information that she leaked was transferred to WikiLeaks, to Julian Assange, and that included war logs, as stated, about the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts, private cables from the State Department, and assessments of Guantanamo prisoners. And we're going to check out footage of the attacks upon innocent civilians in the Middle East in just a few moments after the break. Specifics of the leak. In early 2010, she passed this information, which amounted to hundreds of thousands of documents, as I stated. Many of them are classified. Many of them she noticed and was curious to check out because they were actually flagged on the computers available to the servicemen and women. And in April of that same year, of 2010, the video evidence was released showing a helicopter crew shooting at civilians. And this is the video we're going to check out as soon as we get back from the break. And releases of more information continued throughout 2010. So we're out of time right now. We're going to come right back after just a few minutes of commercials from our lovely sponsors here in North Georgia. And my name's Katy Sissine, and you're listening to FYNTV.com, The Katy Sissine Show, addressing the indoctrination of the nation. And please stay tuned in. I'll be right back with you.
It's a new year. New you at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper. Ring in the new year with huge deals on a brand new Ford. Right now, get exceptional offers like 0% financing plus a $1,500 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford F-150 XLT. Or get 0% financing plus a $1,000 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford Explorer. Make your resolution a reality during the New Year, New You sales event at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper, home of the Schottenkirk Customer Guarantee. Visit us online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
El Rey in Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Elegy.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Welcome back to the Katy Sissine Show. We're discussing President Obama's surprising commutation of Chelsea Manning's sentence, considering that his administration went after whistleblowers more than any other administration prior to him. Now, we're going to check out a video right now that was released showing by Chelsea Manning to WikiLeaks, showing a helicopter crew shooting at civilians. And releases of more information continue throughout the year. So let's go ahead and check out this footage.
Have individuals with weapons.
4 radio. Rio Banners 1-4.
Yep, he's got a weapon too. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 18, have 5 to 6 individuals with AK-47s. Request permission to engage.
Roger that. We have no personnel east of our position, so you are free to engage over.
Negative. He was right in front of the Brad, about there 1 o'clock. Haven't seen anything since then.
Just fucking, once you get on, just open them up.
Yeah, Roger. I see your element. You got about 4 Humvees out along this.
You're clear. All right, firing.
Line here. With the stage line. Let me know when you have it.
One shoot. Light them all up.
202 traffic 260.
Come on, fire.
Hey, Roger.
Keep shoot. Hey, you shoot, I'll talk. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 18.
Crazy Horse 18, this is Hotel 26, over.
Roger. Frank, Crazy Horse 18, request permission to engage. I'm picking up the wounded. Yeah, we're trying to get permission to engage. 18, engage. Clear. Come on. Clear. Clear. We're engaged. Coming around, clear. Roger. Trying to,
So as you can see, that was some very heavy.
SAS sniper decapitates ISIS execute.
Sorry, there's some very heavy stuff going on there, and we even saw that there were some children who were in that van who were shot, and that's very, very sad. I've got my notes that I'm about to pull up for us here. Seem to be having technical difficulties at the moment. Just give me one moment here. So we're talking about how it's really strange that Obama would commute Chelsea Manning, considering his administration's history. We saw what the U.S. soldiers were doing. We know why he commuted Chelsea Manning in the end, but we just think it's strange. I just think it's strange that he would do it at this time. Okay, I've got my notes pulled back up. Don't know what I had pressed there. Sorry about that hold up. I got really caught up in that video there. That was very sad. Very sad to watch that footage of civilians being shot at like a video game. It's a little bit strange. It's very strange. So I believe that stuff should be acknowledged and that we should not condone that behavior, and we should rightfully punish that behavior, as we don't want the whole American public to have to know about it. We do want it to be stopped. So I think that what Chelsea Manning did was ultimately for the best for everyone in the end. Anyway, so she was first imprisoned in Kuwait. She was moved to solitary confinement in Virginia in a room without one window, no window, for 23 hours a day. In 2011, she got an upgrade. She was moved to Kansas to a cell with windows. Well, I guess that's a step up, but she's still in a little cell. And then she had a sentence reduction a few years ago in January 2013. The judge of Manning's case declared her treatment of imprisonment extreme and harsh. And then they gave Manning, a 35-year sentence. So then she was, in 2013, the judge had ruled that her treatment was extreme and harsh, and the 35-year sentence would have robbed her of nearly half of the average lifespan. That's unbelievable. And Manning was acquitted for her most serious conviction of aiding the enemy, but still convicted of multiple other violations of the Espionage Act and circulating classified documents, etc. While imprisoned, she's attempted suicide throughout imprisonment. And the source on that's the Washington Post. So let's talk about the commutation. We heard about the sentence reduction in 2013. And now we're at the commutation that just happened a few days ago, or about a week ago. On Tuesday, January 27th, Obama granted 209 commutations, only 3 days prior to Trump's inauguration, which is interesting. And we know a lot of presidents do this right before they leave office. They give more pardons, more commutations, etc. But it's just, what he pardoned and what he commuted that was strange, considering what his administration actually did. So now Obama has issued more than the last 12 presidents combined of commutations and pardons. Obama has pardoned 212 individuals in total, 64 of them just last Tuesday. Yet, according to the New York Times, these actions have made for a remarkable final step for a president whose administration carried out an unprecedented criminal crackdown on the leaks of government secrets on whistleblowers. And that is from a liberal source, the New York Washington Times. That's not a conservative source that's biased toward my beliefs. It's a liberal source that is actually admitting the irony of his commuting of Chelsea Manning. Now, let's talk about the petitions online. So Chelsea had started a hunger strike, and people had gotten together online. More than 100,000 people signed an official whitehouse.gov petition, meeting the threshold to require a response from the president. And there was a site developed, hugsforchelsea.com, known for the hashtag hugsforchelsea. And you can still share your support online if you'd like to, if you believe in what she did. I understand if you don't. I understand if you believe she violated her rights. We're all entitled to our own opinion. At the end of the day, we got to stick together, though. I personally believe that Americans in the service and all professionals should respect confidentiality. Although I do believe that Chelsea Manning was rightfully commuted. I believe she should have been personally, not guilty in the first place. But anyway, she did not respect the confidentiality agreement of her service in the armed forces. So I believe that Americans in the service and all professionals should respect confidentiality so long as their business does not undermine the Constitution to their country or the composition of their character. And this definitely violated the composition of Chelsea Manning's character. And as an American citizen, she felt that other Americans would want to know, and we did. I did, and I'm glad that the information was out so that we can condemn that kind of behavior and let people know around the world we are not okay with that. And if that goes on, that is not a representation of the everyday American. That's an American who is possibly disturbed and needs help. And sometimes when people are in the service, they change and they go through things and they make them more violent. People leave the service with PTSD. So there are things that we have to consider when caring for our soldiers and certain attentions that these soldiers need in order to not get so caught up in the war and think that, and get so caught up in the violence. So maybe we need to take better psychological care of our soldiers. So anyway, Manning's reaction to the Army's attack upon unarmed civilians represented the sentiments of many Americans and led to civilian outrage, protests, diplomatic addresses, and petitioning for her freedom. So I'm going to get into another topic. Now, not only was it strange that Obama pardoned Chelsea Manning, it's also strange at the amount of pardons and commutations he gave for drug offenders. I often mention the inconsistencies of the Liberal Party. Obama often expressed lower crime rates during his candidacy, but let's take a look at a crime rates photo showing the levels here. Now, during his presidency, there was a drop, and we can keep that photo up for a couple seconds here. There was a drop in the federal prison population and incarcerations. There was also a drop in crime rate. All right, we can take that photo off here. Now, here's what Attorney General Eric H. Holder had to say about this. And we're going to put in a nice photo of Obama back for us here. Nice photo of Obama to look at. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, as we can see, the crime rates fell, or the number of incarcerations fell, so did the crime rates. And but there's something that I haven't revealed yet. Well, if you caught my intro, then I did reveal it to you. Attorney General Eric H. Holder Jr. said in September 2014, when he addressed the decrease in crime and punishment, and he addressed it as nothing less than historic, as in it was merely a paradigm shift in how the United States approaches criminal justice issues. So the drop in incarcerations and crime rates was not thanks to Obama. It was not Obama's doing. It just so happened to be. Just like Clinton in his presidency during the economic expansion from the boom of technology. So many people credited him for economic expansion, when in reality, it just so happened to be the timing of his presidency, and it was dumb luck. And that's the same thing with Obama, just dumb luck. During his presidency, Obama stated, for the first time in 40 years, the crime rate and the incarceration rate have come down together. Now that wording made it seem like it was his own accomplishment. In actuality, the rate of state and federal prison incarcerations increased starting in 1973, then began decreasing around 2007 before Obama took office in 2009. So there's proof for you that the paradigm shift was already occurring. We had just reached a spike. So Obama's luck does not constitute an accomplishment. Oh, brother. So, and then we want to get into the statistics that I've looked up from Green Rush Daily, because over the course of Obama's first term as president, his administration spent nearly $300 million on marijuana enforcement in states where medical cannabis had already been legalized. Between 1996 and 2013, the federal government conducted 528 dispensary raids on medical marijuana dispensaries. During Obama's first term as president, his administration oversaw 270 dispensary raids on medical marijuana dispensaries. Well, this is strange because supposedly he's commuted more and pardoned more criminals for drug offenses than any other president, yet he cracked down on medicinal marijuana like no other. Between 2009 and 2013, the Obama administration spent $100 million more cracking down on medical marijuana dispensaries. Well, $100,000 more than George W. Bush did. Anyway, there's something to think about here. We're running out of time for today. I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in, and we're going to get back in some more statistics when we return tomorrow, and we are going to talk about Mr. George Soros and what he's got to say. And we're going to get back to Trump and what Mr. Soros has got to say about the new president and some more interesting stuff here. Just stay tuned in. So we're getting back to inconsistencies with Obama as he has left office with a spiked approval rating. And then we will get back to Trump, the new president and commander-in-chief. Stay tuned. You're watching the Katy Sissine Show on FYNTV.com. Remember to follow me on Twitter at KatyFYNTV. Hope to see you tomorrow.